everyone, Amber here from So Majestic. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're already on month 8 of Cotton Cut Spring 2025 Puzzle Mystery Quilt. I am sewing up a large phoenix. We have 2 different blocks today. We have our 8A block. I'm loving it. This month uses all the colors again. I can't wait to see what color really dominates or the shape that it starts to take, especially with all the economy blocks mixed in. And this is our 8B block. My suspicion is this is going to be some type of edging around the quilt, like a border. So we will soon see. Can't believe that we already have just only one more month left and we are going to be putting it together. So I believe the final reveal is the first week of November. So be on the lookout. Next video in October, I'll have all that information for you. If you have been enjoying the Puzzle Mystery Quilt or you're just finding my channel now, I am an ambassador, and their Under the Sea Puzzle Mystery Quilt for the fall still has about a week left for signups. So if this is something that you'd like to participate in, there's a whole Puzzle Mystery Quilt going on right now called Under the Sea. You can sign up. I'll have a link in the description. My ambassador code is AmberC, and it gives you a bonus gift your first month. I'll also link a video in the description where you can see the month 1 tutorial. I am sewing up a Halloween colorway, and I am loving it. So just wanted to put that out there in case you want to join in the fun. Sometimes I get comments or messages much later on from people wishing that they could have joined the Puzzle Mystery Quilt. So I hope you enjoy the month 8 tutorial. I'll have timestamps in the description below for 8A and 8B in case you want to jump ahead. Let me know in the comments if you're excited. Our final reveal is getting closer, and I hope you enjoy. Great, I have everything set up. I have my clue card. I have my clue for month 8. I have all my pieces laid out in front of me, my pressing mat, and my small mini iron. And I am using an 8012 Microtex needle today with Gutermann thread. The 8012 Microtex I have found has been working really well with the batiks. So, I'm going to keep using that. So our first block, we have 2 of 8A and 2 of 8B. I did one of each on my live last week. You could watch the replay if you want. And then this is the full length tutorial. So I'm going to be making one of each of these blocks. As always, you can make 2 or however many it will tell you by following the directions down here. All right, so now that we're in month 8, I don't feel like I have to go 1 step, 2 step. I think that you should be able to follow along. So step 1, we're making a flying geese, and step 2. So I'm going to do both of them at the same time. So the first one needs a large C triangle, which is the orange, and 2 E fabrics, which is the blue small E triangles. And I'm just quickly making sure that I'm putting both of the same sides, right side facing up. And for step 2, we need a large E triangle. So this time it's a large blue one. And again, just quickly checking for the grain of fabric. And we need 2 D small triangles, which are our yellow here. Again, just laying them out. All right, so this will be step 1 and 2, and this is just so I can sew them both at the same time. So here, just lining up my edges. I love, especially for triangles, that they are die cut. I was sewing some the other day that I had to cut myself, and it so many times the point kept getting shoved down into my feed dogs. So it just really made me appreciate appreciate Cotton Cut's die cutting them for me. And I just realized that I should have checked my bobbin before I started. It ran out, so I'm just going to wind a bobbin real quick off camera. All right, so this is where my bobbin ran out right here. So I'm just going to fix this line of stitching. I normally do that. I'm going to back stitch over my first line, just locking it into place. So that way I can now sew my step 2, the right hand side, lining these up together. And this quilt has so many economy blocks, so I'm just trying to do any steps together that kind of make it a bit quicker. This one I'm trimming a little bit better because of where my threads ran out. I have multiple threads to trim off of it. And then quickly just giving these a press so we can open them up. I can't believe we only have one more month of blocks, and then we'll be putting this quilt together. I feel like we just started it. Okay, so now I'm adding my left hand side to the flying geese, lining them up. And the same for the step 2.
Good luck.
And this also saves thread by chain piecing them, which is always nice. Okay, and again, going to press this side open. And the same for the step 2 piece here. All right, because now for our step 3, we need to rotate step 2 so the E triangle points down. That's our one that has the larger blue triangle in the center. And we're joining our step 1 above it. So our orange triangle will be facing up, our E, large E, facing down. So I'm just going to fold these right sides together. There's no seams to match up, which is really nice. So you can clip them if you want because it's kind of a long piece. But I'm just going to fold them as I bring it over to the machine. Okay, and then for this, our seams are going to be pressed up. So just giving the back a quick press and then gently opening them. Perfect. And then just setting this to the side. Because now we're on step 4. So for step 4, we're going to make 4 of them. If you're doing both blocks, so I'm going to make 2. They're going to be the economy block again with an F large center and 4 E small E triangles around it. So I'm going to again combine step 4 and 5 just like I did 1 and 2. So I'm going to lay out 2 S squares. And just make sure put them what I believe is right side facing up. And they're going to have E triangles around them. So I'm just laying these out. That way, as I'm going, I can just grab them. Makes it much, much easier. And I'm trying to make sure that I keep the fabric so the same side is facing up. Some of these, like I've been saying, it seems like you can see the grain a little bit more. I don't know if it's called the grain or the weave. Grain is like wood, but basically I feel like I can see the threads more on one side than the other. So I'm going to start in the top right-hand corner. And again, folding the second one, doing both at the same time. And for these, if you don't want to press open right away, you can do the opposite side because it won't overlap when you're sewing. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm putting the opposite side, right side facing together. And we know by now that the little triangle kind of hangs off on the end. And once we press all these open, you're not going to see any of those fabrics hanging over. Okay, the same for this one over here. Putting it right sides together. And I just eyeball the centers. All right, so now that I have two of the triangles sewn, small triangles opposite each other, now I'll press them both open so we can add the opposite sides. And gently opening this one here. Trying to make sure that I am not tugging on them as I'm folding them open. I don't want them to warp. And this block gets kind of big, so it's a little bit of chaos right now on my pressing mat, especially trying to press them open but also have the pieces laid out. So you can see I had done these sides and the same here. So now we're going to do the opposite two E triangles. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to sew the triangles on opposite sides first, then press open. And you can see that now the edges line up perfectly. Nothing's overhanging. And the same thing for over here. I'm participating in a shop hop. If you search Shop Hop, it's a company that does them through all different states. And right now it's the New England Shop Hop. So when you visit one of the participating quilt stores, they give you a postcard that has the directions to make your own quilt block. So that's what I was doing the other day when I had to cut them out myself, and it was such a pain sewing any of the half square triangles or any of the stuff where it ended on a point. All the fabric kept getting stuck in my feed dogs. Then the last one over here. I hope this isn't confusing anybody by me combining the steps. I think if you've been following me, you should have a good grasp already. Or if you've not been following me, this is your first time, but you are already on month 8 of Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt. You'll see how all the steps kind of flow. So I don't think anybody should have trouble following along. Okay, so now I'm just pressing open these last 2 triangles. Right, so we get our block. We'll have 2 of them, so I just got to press this side open. Okay, and that completes our step 4 and our step 5. So we have 2 of these blocks. If you're doing both full blocks at the same time, you'll have 4 of them. Okay, and so now you can see in step 7 and 8, we're making another economy block. So I'm going to lay it all out at the same time. So again, we need a large A fabric. I love this hunter green fabric. The color just looks so rich. Wow, I'm trying to make sure I put the right side facing up. Okay, and so I need a small B triangle to the top right, which is this bright green, and a small D triangle, which is the yellow, to the bottom left. And then if I'm looking at step 8, I need a C triangle, which is my orange, to the top left, and another B small triangle to the bottom right. All right, so now I'm going to sew this one the same way. I'm going to do the 2 opposite triangles. So I'm going to start with the top right, which is my B fabric. And I just realized that I'm sewing this. I skipped over step 6, where I'm joining step 1 to one of the step 5s. So I'm going to do that after I have this last economy block. So again, I apologize. I'm going a little bit out of order today, but it's more to just save time. Okay, and so I need my yellow piece opposite this. All right, and for this, I do want to make sure that I'm laying it out in the correct direction. So now when I add the other 2 triangles, that I am putting it on the correct side. Because we're going to want both our B triangles, which is the green, on the same exact side. So just be mindful if you're combining the steps like I am. So I'm going to start with the green, just so I know that I am putting it on the same side. Okay, And that leaves our last side with the orange fabric. Okay, and we'll just press these to open. All right. So this finishes up our step 7 and step 8. So now I need to put the whole block together. So I'm going to jump back to step 6, where I need my step 3, which is this one here. So I want my orange fabric on the right hand side pointing up, and one of our step 5s to the left. So these two are going to get sewn together. And then down here, I want my step 8 to the left. So you'll know you have them laid out correctly because your 2B fabrics are going to be against here. And on this one, you have your orange triangle pointing up. So our step 6 is the top. Our step 9 is the bottom. I'm going to start with step 6, which is sewing them together. And I'm going to turn them towards me. I put them right sides together, turn them towards me. So I'm going to try to line up these centers as best that I can and clip them. I do have some difficulty with the economy blocks lining them up because it's not a straight seam. So hopefully when I sew this together, I guess I didn't even clip. Oh, I accidentally clipped the bottom one with it too. All right, there we go. All right. Hopefully they don't shift too much. Okay, and if you're looking at the pressing directions, this is step 6. We are pressing it towards the left, which is the side that has the 4 blue small triangles. So gently open this. All right, and it lined up fairly well. The point is a little cut off on one side. That keeps happening. I'm not too worried about it. Once it's all together, it's not going to be noticeable. Okay, so that is our step 6. And so I have 6 up here. Now I'm jumping down to step 9. We're going to do the same thing with these 2 pieces here. So again, I'm putting them right sides together, turning it towards me so I can really fold this back and try to match up that center. And then clip the edges. Anytime I have to match up a center, I will clip them. Or if the piece gets kind of long. And so for this one here, our seam allowance is going to be pressed towards the right hand side. So again, towards our block that has the 4 blue triangles. And there's a lot of fabrics coming together in the center. So I'm just making sure they open it without stretching it. And I try to hit that with the heat first to really try to set it. Okay, So now that's our step 6 and our step 9. And our last step is just to combine them together. So I have 3 spots that are going to line up. The center seam and the 2 triangles. So I'm going to put these right sides together.
Good.
And line up my center first. If you have pressed these correctly, your seams are nested, so they should fit nicely. So I clipped the center first, and now I'm going to match up the center triangles the best that I can. And then clipping out to the edges. And hopefully that's a lot of things to line up, so hopefully it doesn't shift too much. Okay, so for this, we are pressing our seams down. So just giving the good press with the iron before I gently open this up. There's a lot of fabrics coming together. There's 6 different pieces of fabric on each of these points here where the economy blocks meet. So I'm just going to make sure I'm giving them a really, really good press. And I think they lined up fairly nicely, especially the center point. All right, so that finishes up our 8A block. Great, so now we're sewing up our section 8B, and I need 2 small triangles, 1 a small triangle A. And again, just trying to quickly look at this to make sure I can get the right side. And I always accidentally flip these. So just make sure you're looking at the picture so you have them lined up correctly. So my A should be on the left, my B on the right, with the bottom of the triangle pointing down. Okay, and so I'm going to put them right sides together, making sure that they're lined up nicely. And I like how this block is built. It's kind of built on the diagonal. So you'll see that soon. It's pretty neat. And so for the A triangle, I am pressing to the left. So that is step 1. And so now for step 2, I need to put a large S square. And that is going to get lined up with the diagonal of my A. And then I need a E triangle to the bottom left. Great. So I'm going to start sewing this one here up top. So folding them right sides together, and they should match up fairly well. I'm matching up the straight edge on the right hand side and the straight edge on the top. And then on this left hand side, there's a little piece that hangs over, and that is correct. So just be mindful because it's a little bit different. Because it's kind of being built on the diagonal, Sometimes I think I'm lining them up incorrectly. So just giving a good press here and gently opening it. And now this E triangle is on the bottom. So just folding that right sides together. So they kind of look like economy blocks, or they are going to be economy blocks, but the construction is different. And again, giving that a nice press open. And for step 3, I need another E triangle up here on the top left. So just putting that right sides together. And that triangle should line up perfectly now with all the edges.
Cool.
The thread got stuck on the back here. So I'm just kind of cutting it out of my stitch line. All right, and then giving this a nice press open. This is step 3. And I'm just going to set it to the side because we don't need it yet. We're going to build another section. So I need another small B triangle. And a small A, except this time our A fabric is going to be on the right hand side. Again, so they're pointed down. Make sure I'm lining them up and just make sure you're sewing the correct edge. It's so easy to get them mixed around. Okay, and for this, we are pressing towards the A side, towards the right-hand side. Gently opening it up. So it's similar to the first steps. So now I need a large A triangle. And again, just making sure I have the right side facing up. I want that lined up here. And then I need a large E triangle lined up on the bottom. And that's the blue fabric. So it's going to look like this. This is our middle section. So I'm going to start with the top, folding that right sides together. Again, lining up that right hand side edge and the top edge. And my left hand side has a little bit of an overhang. And giving that a nice press open. And this E triangle is lined up here on the bottom. So putting that right sides together, it should match up perfectly if I'm aligning the straight edges. And so for this one here, pressing it from the back and gently opening it. So this is our step 5. So now for step 6, we are joining these two, and you can see they're on the diagonal. So this is where it can get a little bit tricky. So you want to line up this center right here. So I'm going to put them right sides together. If you have followed the pressing instructions correctly, your seams will nest. So I'm just folding them back on myself or on itself so I can make sure. And then lining up the rest of the edge. And see, this hangs off. So that's where, to me, it can be a little bit tricky. Good. All right. And then so for this, we need to press up to our top left and then gently press open. All right, so that is our step 6. And so now for our step 7, we're building the last edge. We need our A square for the center, a small E triangle, and I'm going to join step 7 and 8 together, or at least just lay them out together. So we need each of our small triangles on the edge and our large A triangle on that bottom left. And so I'm going to start with my top left, the small triangle, small E triangle. And press that open to the top right. And then for the large E, again, just making sure that this is aligned. And then gently opening this up. And you can see that it's forming the opposite side of our first steps that we did. And so now we just add our last E triangle for the bottom. And gently giving that a nice press open. And so now our last step, we are aligning this. So again, this shifts up a tiny bit. We are matching up this center seam here. So I'm putting them right sides together. they should nest. My seams are pressed in opposite directions. So I'm clipping that first and then clipping out to the left and the right. And so for this one, it is going to get pressed down our seams. Again, gently folding that open. I'm so happy it didn't really shift. That center point looks really nice. Just giving a nice press. There's a lot of fabrics coming together on this one. So this finishes up our 8B block. Hooray, we have just finished up month 8. I can't wait. Again, we have 2 of section 8A and 2 of section 8B. Next month in October, we have 1 last set of blocks, and in November, we're going to be doing our final reveal. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you do, please consider subscribing or giving me a thumbs up. It does help my channel grow, and I appreciate it so much. See you next time. Bye.